Hello there, this is Dr. Mukesh Kumar, Assistant Professor Plant Pathology at Janta Vedic College, Badaut, Bagpat. Today we are going to deal with the topic parasitism. There is a famous quoting which goes, "Dependency is hallmark of life." What does it mean? It means that each and every organism on this earth is dependent on one or the other. So life doesn't exist in isolation. Every organism is associated with one or the other organisms. The nature of this dependency, based on the nature of this dependency, we can categorize this type of relationship into the following, which goes parasitism, mutualism and commensalism. The parasitism, a type of relationship when one organism derives nutrition from the other organism and the other organism get harmed and the first one get benefited. This type of relationship is parasitism. The second one is mutualism. In this type of relationship, both the organisms derives benefits from this relationship, and this is here for both the organisms win-win situation is there. For example, symbiosis type of relationship. Rhizobium species, their association with the pulse crops, root nodule in the pulse crops. The third is commensalism type of relationship, in which the one organism is benefited and the second organism, neither it is harmed, neither it is benefited. So our topic is parasitism. What we are going to discuss is parasitism, or in Hindi we call parjivita. So in parasitism, in this, as I told, in this type of relationship, one organism is getting benefited and the other organism is getting harmed, or it is falling sick. In this type of relationship, the organism which is benefited, which is deriving nutrition or is surviving on the other organism, the one which is getting benefited is called the pathogen, and the one which provides the nutrition and which is falling sick is called the host. So for example, any crop disease where our plant is a host, and the pathogen or the microbe which is causing disease to it is a pathogen. So this parasitism can be classified into the four categories based on the nature of the pathogen, or the basic nature of the pathogen. This relationship can be defined into four classes, or categorized into four classes. The first one, obligate parasite. The obligate parasite, in this condition, a relationship where the pathogenic organism or pathogen derives its nutrition only from the living host cells. Only from the living host cell. It means it cannot live on the dead organic matter or dead cells. It derives its nutrition only from the living host cell or living host tissues. The example of this is pathogens such as Puccinia graminis, all the obligate parasitic pathogens such as the Puccinia graminis triticale. The second one is facultative saprophyte. Facultative, whenever it comes to facultative in Hindi, for Hindi students, they can assume kabhi kabhi. It means facultative saprophyte means this type of organisms, they sometimes become saprophytic. Otherwise, their basic nature of nutrition or lifestyle is parasitic only. Okay. Before coming to this one, we have to understand the saprophyte. What is saprophyte? Parasite, obligate parasite, we told it derives its nutrition from the from the living host cell or tissues. On the other hand, the saprophytes are those organisms which derives its nutrition from the dead organic matter or dead cells. The other end here we will discuss, but for understanding what is saprophyte, which derives nutrition from the dead organic matter. Here facultative saprophyte, a organism which generally its lifestyle is that it survive basically major part of its life span it spends as a parasite, but when the conditions are not favorable it can survive on the dead organic matters also, or it kills the host and survive on those killed host cells or tissues. In this, the example are Magnaporthoraisi, Phytophthora infestans, and all. Third category is facultative parasite. Again, facultative means कभी कभी, वे ऑर्गेनिज्म जो कि कभी कभी पैरासाइट हो जाते हैं, मीन्स देयर बेसिक नेचर ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन और बेसिक नेचर ऑफ देयर लाइफ स्टाइल इज सैप्रोफिटिक इन नेचर, means they prefer the dead organic matter or the dead host tissues or the cells, but for some period of time they also live as parasites, means they can also survive on the living host cells. Basically their basic nature that they prefer the dead organic matters or the dead organic tissue or cells, but if provided they can also survive on the living host cells. For example, here the example comes are Pythium and all, Pythium, Fusarium, Rhizoctonia type of pathogens and all. The last category is Obligate Saprophyte. This is just opposite to the Obligate Parasite. In Obligate Parasite the host lives on only on the living cells or tissues. On the other hand, here Obligate Saprophyte, these types of organisms only live on the dead organic matter or the tissues or dead cells or tissues. They cannot live on the living host cells or tissues. Example of this type of pathogenic relationship is Sclerotinia. So these are the 4 categories of pathogen or relationships under the parasitism.